Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. We're going to start this show just a little differently. Friend of the show, Todd Webb, sent us a video to shed some light on a troubling issue that's been plaguing the industry for a while. Here's the video right here.
It is technically Lautner.
What?
It is my fault. Nobody knows how it's actually pronounced because I never corrected anybody for decades.
No way.
I just never, in interviews or anything, stopped somebody and said, it's not Lautner, it's Lautner. Just go with whatever.
You're like, it's fine.
I don't care.
His name is Taylor Lautner. Lautner. We've been saying it wrong. The world's been saying it wrong, and we're gonna make it right today. We're halfway through our Twilight rewatch. Unfortunately, we do record these ahead of time, so the next two episodes we're still gonna say his name wrong. But I wanted the apology to come now, so you know that I regret it. I feel bad for it, and we're gonna rectify it moving forward.
You're gonna rectify it.
Well, not for the next two episodes, but then moving forward, I'm going to make a push on social media and in the world. We're going to get, because here's the thing, Dan, shame on us for not knowing. Shame on the fans for not correcting anybody. And shame on the entertainment industry for not taking 8 seconds to just learn this poor guy's name. Taylor Lautner. We all say it wrong.
Wealthy guy's name.
So, okay, yeah, he's wealthy, but he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones, and we didn't take the time to get to know him properly. And I apologize. Dan apologizes, I'm pretty sure. And we're gonna try to make this right, Taylor. Mr. Lautner.
Should have pushed the button. Taylor Lautner.
So now with that, Taylor Lautner. Again, you're gonna hear it wrong, but let's get to the episode. Roll the intro.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And Hate Watching is a show where we watch movies and we make fun of movies, even though nowadays you're not supposed to make fun of anything anymore because it's being mean and hurtful.
Yeah, here's the thing. We do it out of love.
We punch
We're
up.
punching up. We're punching up because we are unsuccessful. We were just talking about that pre-show. Dan and I have zero success, so we can make fun of whatever we want.
You have zero success.
I have zero. You have a little bit. You got Mr. Toast in the background. Look at this space duck. I mean, you got some stuff going on.
Yeah,
I made our own sign that nobody cares about behind me. You know, that's where I live.
Tony made a blurry sign.
Well, the sign's not blurry. This camera's too nice to show it off.
So each week we watch a movie, and right now we're in the thick of the Twilight Saga.
We are knee deep in Twilight, and it is delightful.
These are just the strangest movies.
We're elbow deep in placenta, Dan. That's where we're at for this movie.
We're going deep into the Twilight placenta with Breaking Dawn Part 1, 2011, hour and 57 minutes. All your favorites are back.
Are they? But they all have weird haircuts. Did you notice that? Alice's hair is so weird in this movie. She's got this weird,
it's spiky.
Yeah, what's happening there? I don't like that.
She bought some
Edward
product.
Looks like he lost 40 pounds. He was already a skinny guy.
Oh,
He's
really?
gaunt. His cheekbones could cut glass in this movie. It's ridiculous. And then Carlisle got this weird swoop over, and his face got a little chubbier, and he just looks like a child. I don't know what's going on. Whoever did the hair must have been new, and it all is wrong.
Now,
but Jacob still looks great. Let's just call a spade a spade.
That's the thing. He gets a little older each time, and he becomes more manly.
More of a man, and I am here for it, which is a weird thing to say because I'm watching a young man flourish into manhood, and I love it.
Now, what about your boy, Alice's boyfriend? What's his name? I forgot
Jasper.
his name.
Also looks dumb this movie, but the good news is he did nothing. He's not even in this movie. He could be removed. You would never know it.
He kind of he says I think he has 2 lines that are lines that whatever they pitched this character at the beginning, just he's not even the Southern dude anymore from the last movie.
But he was only the Southern dude last movie. Like the first two, he wasn't. And then the third one, they're like, we're going to give Jasper some things to do in this one. And they made all that shit up. And then they were like, you know what? That didn't work. We're just going to need him in the background again because that was too much. Nobody liked it.
The other thing that I sort of noticed with this one is it's like fanfic. It's like, we're always just talking about the same stupid old characters. We cannot get back past these little tiny loops. Like,
remember last movie where it seemed like things were building up to something, where the Volturi lady was probably the big bad and she created an army, and then we just forget everything and we don't talk about them for a single second, and we just go through a pregnancy. That's the whole movie. What is happening?
A wedding and a pregnancy.
Oh, that's
Don't
right.
forget the wedding. There's a good 40 minutes of a wedding at the beginning.
Why is this a thing? Why is this a movie? Let me just, without even seeing part 2, I can promise you this did not need to be 2 movies. I'm just going to say that right now. Not enough happens in the 2 movies to even make 1 movie. That's my theory, and we'll see what happens next week.
I read one, I don't know what happens, but I read a thing where she was like, Alice like tears a page out of a book and writes a note to her at the beginning for the wedding. And the first time she had it, it was like some book, and she was like, and it had nothing to do with the story I wrote. And so I changed it to The Merchant of Venice.
Which has a lot to do with this
Which
movie.
she somehow thought that I've never read The Merchant of Venice. I don't even know the story, but
Well, she's basically Shakespeare of the modern age. So
and then of course they don't even put that in this movie. It's like you have nothing going on in this movie. At least like explore something that it has some tangibility to it.
No, we're not going to do that shit. Don't get confused, Dan. We're only here to look at these people. Well, not all of them, because I mean, I'll say a lot of negative things, but the one thing they did right is make Bella Swan the most unattractive person in the world. She looks death all day.
You mean even during the wedding?
No, not during the wedding. But
you mean when
she
horror
gets
it up?
pregnant, yeah.
Of course.
She is a terrifying creature.
Well,
I'd be very worried.
She's dying.
But for real, I feel like there's a lot of movies.
And I think they do special effects.
But I feel like when you have attractive people in a movie, you don't generally make them super ugly, even when they're dying. You put bags under their eyes. You don't make their spine stick out and like their face like stretched too thin. It's very scary.
No,
I'm applauding them for it. I think they went for it, and I'm happy that they did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I loved it too. I was just like, there's like one scene where she's starting to have problems, and I'm like, they're not even going to go for it. And then like get to the next scene, and you're like, holy shit, they went for it so hard
first. And I was like, great, you did one thing. Good job, team.
They did do that right in this movie.
They did one thing right.
2
things right.
Okay, her final vampire makeup.
No, the very first scene of the film, which we're about to get to now.
But we're not.
Shit.
I have one little piece of information I dug up.
All right, okay. What do you got?
Reading about the book.
Of course.
This book won the 2008 British Book Award for Children's Book of the Year.
No, I refuse to accept. Children's Book of the Year?
Book also went to like Harry Potter, went to Artemis Fowl.
Should go to those books. Those books are great, especially for children. This is not a book that I would ever let my child read. I don't care. It sends all the wrong messages all over the place. This is ridiculous. Who chooses these awards? That person's messed up.
So talk about the first scene, Tony.
The first scene, we open the movie. Jacob has a note in his hand. It's pouring rain. He throws it on the ground, tears off his shirt. There you go. Open the movie, Jake's body. Yes, please. I was like, hell yes, they figured out exactly what people want, and we're going to ride that out. It's all downhill from here, guys. You start high, emo wolf, abs all over the place, shapeshifts, a pretty good shapeshift. He like does a running dive into the shapeshift, runs off. Great opening scene.
They never pay it off.
Not only do they never pay it off, but they never do anything cool again.
So Dad's annoyed at getting the wedding invite. Mom's, it's happening. And I guess
Why is she so excited? This is a weird thing to do.
You want me to tell you why she's excited?
Yeah, please explain this to me because I don't understand the emotions in this movie.
She's getting paid to be in another one of these movies.
So you're saying the actress couldn't contain her smile.
No.
She's like, I can't believe I'm still here. Can we do it again? You're worried about your daughter. Okay. All right, I'm worried.
Then we do a whole bit where Alice gives her these giant heels and she can't walk in them. Of course, later on in the movie, all she does is walk in heels and never
come
has
back at all. It's totally fine. Thank God she practiced. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it would have been a disaster, Dan.
Can't I just go barefoot?
Yes, you can. It's your wedding. You can do whatever you want. Nobody told her that. No one was like, hey, Bella, this is your day. Do whatever you want. These people are monsters, Dan. Not because they're vampires, because they're selfish.
It's Alice's day.
I know.
Alice is in charge. She goes home. She fondles, Jacob's dream catcher. And who's in her room, Tony? None other than Creepo.
Creepo. That's the name for now. From now on.
Whenever he shows up in the room uninvited,
it's too much. It's too much.
Oh, hey, you're in my room. I was walking out to take the dog out before we did the show, and I walked out to the living room. I'm like, "Where's Shannon?" I walked back. I was like, "Where's Shannon?" I walked back out. I'm like, "Where's Shannon?" She's like, "I'm right here." She was standing right to the left of me by the window, and she
just never saw her.
I was like, "Ah!"
So what you're saying is Edward is probably in your room all the time, and you just have no idea.
I would punch him in the face and break my hand every time because it would be fucking nuts.
God. Yeah, no, it's again bad messages, guys, for either sex. Either any gender. I can't say it right. Yeah.
Okay, so this Creepo has something that haven't told you everything. What does he tell her about, Tony?
He tells her about all the people he murdered, Dan. We need to talk about this. One, how is this the first time this is coming up? Do they even know each other?
Because it's a book, and when you write a book and you don't know anything about your characters, you sit down and you go like,
because I wrote the first book without thinking this through.
What can I have my characters do now? Oh, now Edward's going to explain how he, she has to invent something that he can confess to her. And this is, and how bad is confession is this?
It's bad on all fronts.
I was thinking it wasn't bad at all. I think it was like, saying I chew my toenails.
Oh, I thought you meant quality, not like how bad it is as like, oh, I've murdered. You're a vampire guy. Yeah. Every person knows she killed people. It happens. That's what happens when you're a baby vamp. You just go crazy, right? Like we all know you can't control it. We've seen it. It's so dumb. This is like his, I should tell you, I've murdered people. You're a vamp? I've seen you murder people. What are you talking about? We've murdered people together, Eddie. Okay? I know this. But here's my bigger problem is why is this coming up now? They're already, if he thought this was a big deal, you probably tell it before you beg her to marry you for a whole movie 50,000 times. What do they talk about when they're alone, Dan? They don't know anything about each other.
She talks about childhood and rain and how much she loves him and how much she needs him and how bad her life is.
I feel
how
like
bad her not bad life is.
Oh boy, her life's pretty great. Her mom is supporting her getting married at 18. How bad can your life be? She's so supportive. Oh, so dumb. Also, it bothers me because they defend it. He's like, I've murdered people. Everyone I killed was a monster, but, I still killed them, and they were human beings, but only murdered. Oh, that's so played out, all right? Dexter did it 20 years ago, way better. Let it go, guys. Let it go.
Got to come up with something that's dark, but isn't dark.
But not dark at all.
Not dark at all.
I killed people, but they were murderers and rapists, so I'm doing great. I'm like a really good person.
Just killed chomos right in the middle of the act, just so the kids can watch the person be murdered as they're getting chomo.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Good job.
So dumb.
But of course she can say, "Yeah, you saved lives."
Oh yeah, you saved more lives than you took. I hate it. I hate it so much.
And then her big rationale as to why she could be a vampire is, if you could do this, then I can too.
But he just told you he couldn't. Right? Am I crazy here, Dan? Didn't he just say, I'm confessing to you I couldn't handle it for a while, and it took me a long time? She's like, well, if you could do it, I could do it. He didn't do it. You're going to kill people, and you're totally fine with it. That makes you a bad person, Pella.
And weird dude, Hercules or whatever his name is.
I mean, it is now. I forgot to look that up, but yeah, Hercules.
What are they going to do on at the bachelor party? It's so terrible.
They're going to hunt? Are they going to eat? They're going to eat animals or something?
They're going to eat
right.
bears and mountain lions. I'm just like, poor bear and mountain lion population that have to deal with these assholes.
Because here's the thing. They're not doing it to sustain themselves. They're doing it for fun. They're murdering animals for fun. They just said it. They're like, yeah, we're going to go party. We're going to drink way too much. We're going to get lit, bro. Fuck you guys. Animal cruelty.
I mean, I can't imagine that there are enough bears and mountain lions.
You got to go far away.
I mean, if these guys kill like one a night,
that's why
not going to be any left. They're going to devastate the population.
100%. That's why you got to travel far, far away. Get out of here, Edward.
So we see the new improved Jasper. It's weird. I didn't like it.
When they hop in the window.
Yeah, he's being all weird and not interesting.
Well, he's back to Jasper.
Then she has this wedding dream, all white.
Wait, no, don't. Yeah? I thought you were going to talk about this.
Oh,
so he's like, I got to go to my bachelor party. He jumps out the window, and the boys meet him below.
Yeah,
and they do this This movie's clearly written by a woman, okay? And I don't mean that in like a negative way, but this scene is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. These boys, Lance, they're 100 years old, right? Let's keep this in mind. They're 100 years old. They're not 8. They're not children. They do this weird like pushing thing where they're like, and then they leave. It is the weirdest scene of men like hanging out together I've ever seen in my life. Nobody does this. I've never seen this in real life. I don't understand why it's in the movie. They're like playing touch, grab ass, like, let's go, guys. Dumbest thing I've ever seen, Dan.
So Bella has a wedding dream. Everything is white, all white, and then the Voltari show up and kill everyone, and there's blood everywhere.
Well, hold on, Dan. Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
I have a lot of problems with the beginning of this movie, and then I stopped paying attention for a while. So don't worry. We're almost through it. The last thing she says to Edward is like, I'll see you at the wedding.
Yeah, okay.
And she goes, I'll be the one wearing white.
Makes sense.
And then the next scene is a dream where everyone is wearing white at the wedding. Why? That's just bad writing. I'll be the one wearing white. Everyone's wearing white. Every single person. She's the least white there. She's wearing like an ivory color. Everyone else is pure white. She's the only one not wearing white. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you put that in your movie? Why would you say, I'll be wearing white, I'll be the only one, and then the next scene, it's wrong?
Alice does her makeup. So it's down to the day of wedding. Alice does her makeup. Mom is crying. Charlie sees the graduation cap art and like starts to put it together from that.
Well, there's 100 graduates. Where would they get the caps? It's not a great idea. The mom is so stupid. She's like, oh, how clever. How clever. Where did they get all these different colored caps? Why is it clever? What's clever about it? Tell me that, Ma. You idiot.
Then they go up to the room. Mom or Charlie, somebody gives her like a hair thing that's going to be the old thing. I don't think we do the borrowed thing or the blue thing. We just do the old thing.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's correct. I forgot there were multiple facets to this.
Anna Kendrick thinks that she must be pregnant to have it doing this. And now as we start the wedding, and this is your chance to do a little critique of the wedding dress.
Well, first of all, I want to say the venue is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything in this every place they go and everything they do, like the Carlisle house is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
They go
It's
to
amazing.
the island later on. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
beautiful.
It is that sort of 50 Shades perfect life that you've fallen into thing.
For sure. And I don't know what these white dangly flowers are that are everywhere. I love it, Dan. I was like, wow, this is a fairy tale wedding. Other than, you're a murderer and you're gonna kill your wife and make her undead. Other than that, beautiful, beautiful stuff. My wife liked the back of the dress. She made a comment. She said, "Oh, I like the lacy." She used a word that I don't understand.
I think it was had like a cord tying it together, right? It was
okay, sure.
It was cut, and then it was like.
I'll be honest, didn't notice it at all.
Oh,
I have no idea what the wedding dress looks like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got nothing.
It was okay. It had some weird darts.
What are you doing with What are you doing with your boobies there, Dan?
They're darts, where you cut things at angles.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was an okay dress. I expected more.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
And then they're walking down the aisle. Bella was sort of freaking out for a second.
Yeah.
And of course, they're having the wedding on a bright, sunny day outdoors.
But nobody's sparkling.
Nobody sparkled. This entire movie, not 1 second of sparkling, even though most of the movie happens during daytime, in daylight, in front of people.
Yeah.
Never once is that
They've
ever
come
even
up
become
with
a
a
thing.
new sunscreen in between movies, Dan. They didn't tell you because they thought you would already know.
They do their vows. I don't remember anything about the vows.
Yeah, I think they were pretty lackluster, if I'm being honest. I'm sure they're just like, I'm a vampire.
I'm a vampire. Get used to it. So we have the reception, and
Wait. You're not going to talk about the kiss?
there was a kiss. Oh, they kissed at the end? Sure.
Dan, they didn't do the wedding right. They didn't do the wedding at all. This is what happens. They do their vows. I don't give a shit what they say. And then they start doing the I, Edward, take Bella from sickness and health. But they're doing it one line at a time, alternating, as opposed to because usually one person says it.
Yeah.
Gives the ring. The other person says it, gives the ring, and then they kiss.
Sure.
That's not what happens here. They alternate, and then they just start kissing. No one says you can kiss the bride. They just start making out hardcore. And I'm talking tongue, and this is like a 2-minute kiss. The camera starts spinning, and then they do this stupid thing where the audience disappears. You didn't notice that? They do it so it's
I must have been playing a game on my phone.
They're the only two people in the room. It's so romantic. It's so dumb. So dumb. Prime Prejudice did it 20 years ago, and it was way better. So they kiss for like 4 minutes in front of everybody, and no one's like, well, this is pretty awkward, which is what would happen. The wedding kiss, you go in 5 to 7 seconds, a little open mouth, nothing too crazy. Keep it respectful, people. Unbelievable. Anyhow, so it's a terrible wedding.
We go to the reception. We meet the Alaska Blondes. Do you want to talk about the Alaska Blondes at all?
They're all ugly. I'll just say that.
They are fairly unattractive.
I don't understand.
They're supposed to be attractive, but they're fairly unattractive.
Because they say it. They're like, oh, look at these hot blondes. But they're not. They're all weird. And one of them is Shannon from Lost. I don't know if you noticed that. And the daughter from Taken. Those are the only two things I remember her from.
Interesting.
And she apparently was in a relationship with Laurent.
Supposedly one of them was in a relationship with Laurent, saying that you shouldn't have killed. Who killed Laurent? Did the vampires or the werewolves?
Wolves killed him in the second movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because he was coming, so they were like, "You go get him."
And they just sort of surrounded him and ate him,
and then tore him apart. Yeah, great. Because it's very weird.
Sort of blaming the vampires for his death.
Well, because she's blaming them both. Because Edward, good old Eddie, is like, well, he tried to kill Bella, and she's like, I don't believe that. He was one of us. What's happening? Who wrote this shit? You're contradicting your own stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
that book one with the redhead, or movie one, they all seemed like they were a crew, and Laurent was working with the redhead.
Those three are a crew. Laurent. What is the redhead's name? We've seen her in 3 movies, and I already forgot.
I don't know.
How quickly we forget when they die.
Played by Ron Howard's
and then
daughter.
Cam Gigandet. The 3 of them were like the big bad guys in the first movie.
And they all had a particular plan about how they wanted 100%. To take down all humanity. I mean, very manifesto-y.
They were bad people. They were bad vamps. So now, 4 movies later, we're trying to like rewrite history and be like, no, he was a good guy and you killed. No, it doesn't make any sense. What's happening? So poorly written. And then, but on top of that, why do you invite her to the wedding? If you did, in fact, kill her boyfriend and you know it, why are you inviting her to the wedding? Just maybe have her sit it out.
Why is she coming? Yeah, it's like, why is she coming?
Exactly. Why would she come to it? None of it makes any sense, Dan.
I mean, I have to imagine in the second part of this, they're going to clear it up. They're going to do something. Because they don't. That's all. These 3 show up and are like, "We're blonde. Now we're gone." We're like,
and
okay.
we're never seen again. Never. I think your problem, Dan, is you've got hope. I ran out of hope a long time ago.
I wrote, "Man, beef gives the toast."
Well, I believe that would be Jake's toast. Because don't they all give toast? Well, Jake doesn't give a toast.
No. Hercules
gives a toast about sex. Yeah. He's like, hey, I hope you slept a lot because you're not going to sleep for a while. Actually, pretty funny. Like in a very inappropriate, gross way. All of the toasts are pretty funny because they're not a real toast anyone would ever give.
No.
Like Charlie's talking about murdering Edward if he wrongs his daughter, which is great.
Really weird and really out of character.
So just out of character. It's all bizarre. I don't know who wrote this shit.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick does the thing about hair, the hair. I think comparing her hair to Bella's
she compares herself a lot to Bella because she's like, Bella's getting married, but she's not as cool and pretty as I am or something. Which, again, not a speech that someone would give at a wedding.
And then the mom does weird, uncomfortable singing.
Yeah, which we've never heard before. So I don't know where this maybe it makes more sense if you've read the books. I don't believe it does, but maybe it does because it's not good, and it's clearly a song she would sing to Bella as a child because it's like a nursery rhyme, and no one is like, what the fuck's going on? So obviously they kind of get it. I don't know, man.
I mean, the bit should have been she was just crying so hard that she couldn't get it out.
She couldn't say anything. Yeah. That's a great bit, Dan. Yeah. Great bit. You can't write this movie. All right.
Because it's not really written. Edward is drunk.
Is he?
He seemed drunk. He seemed drunk.
I believe it. Too much blood, baby.
Oh, and then we start the dancing, and out comes Swing Dancing Jasper.
Now, is that a South thing? Is that I don't really know much about the swing dancing culture, but
that's like something you take up in the 80s, to be sort of contrary. You do your swing dancing. I don't. It didn't make any sense to me.
All right, that's good.
And then Ed's like, I have a gift for you in the forest. He takes her out there, and there's old Jakey. And for the first time during her wedding, she perks up.
Yeah. Weird, right?
It's so weird.
None of it makes any sense.
I hate my wedding, but here's Jake. Here's Jake.
Right? Yeah. It's a weird message. And then she's like, I'm so happy you're here, blah, blah, blah. Why? I
don't know.
I hate her.
Everything is perfect now. Dance with me. They dance.
And Eddie's like, I'm going to go back inside. You guys fool around for a bit because that's going to be our marriage.
I mean, it sort of feels like that. He's like, well, if you need to fuck other guys during this, it's like, I'm going to be good with that.
Once a month, one weekend a month, you get a hall pass. You can go have sex with Jake, but come back. As long as you come back, it's cool.
It was, after how this movie's been, it was really weird that he's like choosing to like give her. It's like really weird.
Yeah, because no one has real characters. They're all over the board.
She's crying. Soon I'll be dead to you. And then he's like,
I wrote that line down too, Dan, because here's the thing. She'll be dead to everyone. She's going to die. Does she not fully understand what she's doing? Because she keeps saying things like, "Oh, I'll be dead. You're dead to everyone, Bella. You are dead. Your heart is going to stop. You are dead." It bothers me that she doesn't understand what's going on.
No, she does not have any idea. And then she's like, "I'm just trying to appreciate your last night as a human." Oh no, he says that, and then we sort of realize that he's not going to turn her tonight because Jacob was thinking it was happening tonight.
Right, because then we get in this weird conversation where it's like, well, too bad you're not going to have a regular honeymoon. And she's like, it's going to be just like everyone else's. And he's like, you're going to let him fuck you? You're going to have sex? And he freaks out and he grabs her. He's like, don't do this. Don't have sex, Bella. It's really weird.
He finally figures out that the two of them are going to have sex. Even though we haven't talked about sex at all with a vampire, what that means for you.
Because I don't think anyone's ever done it. As far as I can tell, nobody's ever done it in this world. This is the first time a human and a vamp have boned.
So Wolf Boys assemble and they run off. And he goes and sees Sam, I think, and tells Sam not to start anything or something.
Well, yeah. See, now this is important because it gets very confusing very fast. Sam.
Oh, this is all the wolves meet in like the one thing, and then we've learned Jacob could have been the pack leader, but he chose not to challenge Sam.
Yeah, we learned that, but I don't care about any of that. What I care about is, one, this is the first time we've ever heard the wolves talk to each other in wolf form.
Well, it's the mental telepathy.
No,
yeah.
I know, but it's done in such a weird way where no one sounds normal. It's like when I become a wolf, I talk like this. It's so bizarre. None of it sounds right at all. And it looks so stupid. They should never have done this. They should have never, ever done this scene. And they never do it again. This is the only time. I think they filmed it. And then in post, we're like, fuck, this scene sucks. What are we going to do? We have to keep it in. There's no other way around it. Hopefully they never do this again. It was trash. Straight trash. Total bad idea. But what happens here is Jacob is like, I'm going to kill Edward because he's going to turn Bella. Yeah, and Sam is like, no, you can't hurt the Cullens. They're not a danger to us or the town, which is an important distinction because in 10 minutes time in this movie, those roles are going to completely reverse. And Sam wants to kill him and Jacob's like, you can't kill him. It's horrible writing.
And then there's something about Seth. Or maybe he says, let's go, Seth.
Oh, yeah, well, because
does he run off with Seth?
Jacob shows his dominance. Oh, I'm a big bad wolf. And then Sam bows down and then he leaves the pack. And then Seth follows him and he's like, I want to be with you, friend. And Jacob's like, no, you can't be here. I'm a one-man wolf pack. And then Seth is like, we're a two-man wolf pack. It's great stuff. It's really good writing.
The poor kid, Seth.
The poor Seth. He seems so sweet.
Yeah.
He seems so sweet and innocent. Yeah. Like, I feel bad being mean to him because he seems like a really nice kid.
Well, you got to imagine you're in this movie. You're playing a role
in way over your head.
You say words and you're gonna have like this Comic-Con table and people are gonna be like, oh yeah, no,
yeah.
We don't really need your autograph for $20.
Seth. No, he seems like a sweet kid. I like him. I'm pro Seth.
Rice throw, mom, they're packed and ready to go. And what is that word? As they drive away, I wrote, the go hit the locks, that locks. The go bit that locks.
You did what?
Go hit that locks.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what that line means. It's like
listen, if anyone out there watched this movie and understands what Dan is saying, leave us a message.
And you can hear Jake Wolf crying in the distance.
Yeah, which is dumb. It's dumb.
Where are they going for honeymoon, Tony?
They're going to a private island.
No, where do they go first? They go to a country first. They go to a city first.
Oh, they go to Brazil. They go to Rio, right?
Rio de Janeiro, and they do some dancing in the streets,
which is pretty fun. You know how I knew where they were?
Yeah, the statue on the hill.
Exactly, but you know why I know that statue?
Because it's in Rio de Janeiro.
Nope, because it's in Fast and the Furious. I was like,
I've been here before in another movie.
That's what I said as they were showing the thing. I was like, I know this place. I know this place. It's in Fast and Furious. The Society says Brazil. I know this place. That's literally what happened last night while we were watching the movie.
It's so embarrassing. She's like pulling on her crotch. Are we close? Are we close? It was like she is like literally the thirstiest person that's ever existed. As she's sitting there.
Can I ask something? And again, we're two straight white men,
heterosexual men, as far as we know.
And this is written by a woman, right?
Yeah.
Why is Bella the horny one? You know what I mean? Generally speaking, the men are the creatures that desire the sexual contact, and then the women are kind of like, oh, I'm pure and I'm sweet, or whatever. But this is just why is Edward so against? Like, it's weird, and I just the psyche behind it is something I don't think I can understand as a man, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
The thing about it is, we don't see how they get there. When they go home from here, they go on a private jet. So I'm assuming they went there on
probably
a private jet.
Yeah.
Flight to Rio is going to be
a while.
Going to be 6 hours, I would guess.
Plenty of time for some hanky panky.
These two would be whatever.
Yeah. Well, listen, we don't know.
But
we don't know.
They're going to their own private island, which was a gift from Carlisle. So he just
that's
gave
what he
it
said,
to him?
Which is insanity.
Like,
we're just giving away islands now.
Well, more importantly, why does Carla? If you're living vampire existence, you'd be sharing that island.
Yeah, 100%.
But whatever. And then there's some
sort of a vampire timeshare, if you will.
Yes, there's a bed.
Not for long.
I wrote holding huge heels, even though she's holding these giant heels.
Yeah,
she's carrying her heels, which are gigantic. So I guess she walked and danced in the streets with them.
Didn't look like it. Just throwing it out there.
Tired? No. Let's go for a swim. Yes. And then she's like, give me a little time. And then he's like, okay. So she goes in there and she's like, da 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 da, brush the teeth. She takes off her ring, and they make a real big point of showing us her
that she puts, and then we never go back. I thought for sure she was going to leave it there, and that was going to be like a point of contention or something. No, not at all.
An entire shot in a 2-hour movie showing us nothing that means anything. I mean, it showed us that the ring was very ugly.
Well, it's big. It's gaudy, right?
Well, it's this big, weird, blobby.
Well, because it's
like nothing.
It was a family heirloom, right? Like someone's grandma from 200 years ago or something.
But I don't know. If you're gonna get some antique jewelry, buy a piece of antique jewelry that's like good looking,
nice. Yeah, that people are like, oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, brush her teeth, takes off her ring, shaves her legs.
Now you're telling me, Dan, she didn't shave her legs for the wedding?
Oh yeah, she did, but they've been on a flight, so no, I understand that.
6 hours? All right.
Yeah, hair grows. She pulls out.
Hair grows.
She pulls out the negligee and then says no, and then she like breaks down on the floor. I don't know. I did not understand what was happening.
You think what it seems like to me is that she's having second thoughts about all this. Like, and I'm sure I'm wrong, because she then goes and proceeds to make sweet, sweet love to him. But to me, it seems like she's having second thoughts about having sex.
Or primping herself. I didn't understand it. And then
I have no idea.
She just walks out there nude, and then they're nude in the ocean, and then they have sex in front of the moon.
Well, they start there.
Yeah, and then they go to the bed, and then they crank up a song, and then he breaks the whole bed because of how strong he was with sexing on her.
That I get. That I was on board with. I was like, yeah, that's sexy. He's into it so much that he just snaps a bed in half. Yeah, okay.
So you're good.
Too bad it's not Jacob, but I'll take what I can get.
And in the morning, she wakes up and there's feathers, and then she like looks around and she's all like, "Oh, the whole bed is destroyed."
Not okay. First of all, the feathers are still falling.
Yeah.
Why are they still falling?
Oh, because if you like lean down, like if you lean on a pillow, it'll squirt out some air, and then the puzzle.
She wasn't moving, Dan. All I'm saying, there's a lot of feathers still in the air for something that happened ostensibly 6 hours ago. Okay, but Why is the whole room destroyed?
Why is the posts of the bed that are way out here? Because he must have been
there's
like
chairs. There's chairs on the side that it is. Why are the chairs destroyed? Why is everything destroyed? I'm fine with the bed being destroyed. I think that makes sense.
We saw him crush the headboard, which
right.
I mean, it should have been a more limited amount of destruction, unless you're going to show us a lot more sex.
Because in my head, here's what happened. He's inside. He's doing it right on the bed. Yeah, that was going to get way too dirty. And then he like gets too upset and then runs around the room breaking things. That's what I imagine. And then he comes back and finishes. That's what happened in my head.
There's an old Harlan Ellison story where he thinks about what would happen if Superman actually had sex with Lois Lane.
Oh, that can't be good.
Sort of imagines that, he would sort of blow her out. And I was sort of thinking that same sort of thought, like how dangerous it would be to have sex with a vampire.
Well, that's why Jake freaks out and he's like, don't do it. He'll kill you.
So she gets up.
Hilarious.
And goes down to see her. And then he finds that she's all bruised up. You want to talk about the bruising, Tony?
I feel like this is where I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm going to try to big deal. They're not even that bad.
This is the least damaging sexual bruising that's ever existed on the planet.
We won't get too into it. I like it. Not doing it. I like, receiving it.
Tony likes to be choked out. He comes in with the burns all on his neck.
Choking's good. I like getting hit a little bit. It's fine. Bruise me up is what I'm saying. These aren't even bad bruises. She didn't even realize she had them until he pointed them out.
Those are, if you don't know the bruises are there, it's like getting a hickey or something. You're like, right, this is not a real, this is not a wound.
No, you're fine. And
if she had like a broken wrist, wakes up with a broken wrist, I'm like, okay, broken wrist.
If there was some real damage,
has to set it, okay, this is a real thing.
Yeah, no, but nothing. These are nothing.
Ooh, tiny bruises.
Oh, you got a little mark on you. I'm a monster. I'm gonna cry about it for 10 minutes. I hate it. He's so whiny. He's such a little biatch.
So he's like, sex is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hold on.
He denies her sex. Yeah.
No. He's okay. She's like, I'm fine. He's like, I've already ruined it. And then she gets pissed at him. And then she's like, you're the best at sex. Or maybe he says she's the best at sex.
Yeah. Because someone is like, oh, I'm afraid you didn't enjoy it or whatever. And he's like, yeah, it must have been her saying that.
Yeah.
Because then he's like, I loved it. It was so good.
Oh, no. Last night was the best night of his existence. That's a quote.
That's right.
That's the quote. Yeah. So, and he says that this is how he says it. This is okay. Tony, last night was the best sex I'm putting too much on it.
Yeah, take it down. Take a little less. Do nothing.
Tony, last night was the best
too
night
much,
of sex.
Too much. Start it over.
Tony,
That's not Twitch.
Tony, last night was the best night of sex I've ever had.
Cut. Print. That's the one. That's it, everybody.
There's they don't even try to put some intensity in it. It's so weird. I don't understand.
I didn't look into this, Dan. Did a different person direct this one than the other ones?
Oh, I don't know.
Because there's some weird shit that happens, just like with the camera moves and some of the choices. I'm going to look this up real quick.
So basically, he's like, sex is over. That's the end of the sex. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to play chess until you beat me. Then we're going to start having sex again. And we get to see them playing chess 3 times.
A lot. There's a lot of chess, dude.
And she's doing this. The best part is she puts on the different negligee, I think like a baby blue one.
Yeah.
Crawls into bed and rolls over and presents her ass to him. It is so weird.
Listen, Dan, you're into it. Don't lie. I know that you're into it. It's fine. You know who's not into it? Eddie. He pulls a blanket over. Real cute. What a gentleman.
But it was, I don't know. Dumb. It was so not. The two of them are so not sexual. You know? It's like
that
really,
is correct.
It's kind of how 50 Shades was. You just like,
well,
you didn't buy the intensity. They're so like, oh, you want sex dungeon? Oh, you're just like,
Yeah. No, I mean, you know how I feel about 50 Shades. I was real let down with the lack of sexual tension in that movie. Which, because we talked about it. Eric from not Twilight. What's that show called?
Yeah,
Fuck.
True Blood. You watch that
True
dude.
Blood.
That dude walks across the room and you're like, I'm thirsty.
I'm 6 to midnight. You know what I mean? Like, hello, Skarsgård. Yeah. They just,
I was
it's
watching.
just not there.
I was watching something and they had a clip of a Bridget Bardot movie, and here she is wearing like a dress that's not not revealing at all, and
Sure.
she's just like walking, smiling. You're like, oh, yes, yes,
There it
please.
is.
Yes,
Because some
please.
people just got it. You know what I mean? I'll never know what that's like, but some people got it. You know who's got it? Taylor Lautner. He's got it. Why isn't he having sex in this movie? You know what I want to happen? Have I said this already? I want him and the friend from Pitch Perfect. Why did I forget her name all of a sudden?
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick. They
Oh.
should get together. She should have like My Night with a Werewolf. I'd watch that spin-off movie.
My Night with their tempestuous relationship.
Yes, sir.
I'd be all over
Yes,
that.
sir. Yeah, we're in. Just real quick, since we have a little pause here,
Yeah.
It is a new director.
Okay.
His name is Bill Condon, which I read as condom first, and he only directs the last two, unfortunately. So the next one's also going to suck.
Not an upgrade.
Nope, absolutely
we've
not.
Gone down.
We have got, yes, sir. Unfortunate.
She presents her ass, more thing. Then they do some water sports.
Wait,
more
water sports? What do they do?
They swim in the water, and then he jumps off a thing and holds on to her. That's stupid.
Oh, that's right. Well, she's dead, by the way. Just because you're on the back of a vampire doesn't protect you from falling down onto the water.
And then she begs him, please, please, please. And then she crawls on top of him and forces his manhood into her.
And now here's what else, just going to briefly touch on it.
No means no, lady.
So I agree. However.
Oh, Tony was like, it was hot when she crawled on top.
Yes. I was like, well, that's the dream. You know what I mean? That's the dream. You want someone to want you so much that they coerce you into it. And that sounds bad. I don't want to do the coercing. Let me be very clear.
Tony wants to be coerced upon.
I want to be coerced. That's it. And that's my choice. But I would never do it the other way.
As
I just want to be very clear.
As long as it's not a Catholic priest.
I mean, what do they look like? They look like Jake. You know what I mean?
Is he built? Tony, you can't joke about those kind of things.
Lift up the robe, Father. Let me see those abs. I'll make a choice. Sorry. Okay, we gotta delete that out of the
Tony, I'm not touching any of that.
We got it. I'll edit that later.
So,
oh boy.
Jake's back at home thinking that Bella's dead.
It's been 14 days?
Yeah.
How long is this honeymoon?
2 weeks.
But that's just to this point. They weren't planning on coming back yet, right?
I haven't.
How long are they planning on being gone? Because then she's gone for another 2 weeks when they think she's sick. That's a whole month. That's a long honeymoon.
A lot of honeymoon going on. Sam tells Jake stay away from the Cullens because the hand's off. And then the boys are there. And then Leah walks up. And Leah, I don't even know if she has a chance to say anything, but immediately he says, "Shut up, Leah."
Shut up, Leah. Yeah.
It was like Leah. There's two lines. There's one later that I put out where they literally just. It's almost like Leah walks into frame and someone punches her in the face without her even
doing anything.
Without her doing anything. The implication is she's the world's biggest bitch, but they don't even
But she's
give
not.
her a chance.
You know what I mean?
No, she's not.
It's so weird. Everyone shits on her, and there has to be some sort of catharsis coming in the next one, or I'm just really upset by it. I don't know why everyone's so mean to her.
And we sort of talk about, we say, we all know what imprinting is, right? And then Leah's like, you should just imprint on someone, which of course, she should be saying that since she is still in love with Sam. Why doesn't,
okay.
Well, why don't you do it yourself, Miss Know-It-All?
This is a great time for you to explain to me imprinting in this universe.
Okay.
Because I don't get it.
Okay.
Do you choose, or is it something instinctual that just happens?
The way they're selling it here is that you just look at the person and go, imprint, 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 imprint. But the truth of the matter is, it's the two people have to lock gazes and then they imprint on each other. That's what really happens.
So now
So,
here's my
so, so
fault.
the idea of just go and imprint on someone
It doesn't work.
doesn't make any sense.
Right, but
You
they
know,
keep saying it like it does.
Like he could control it. Like he could just
Right.
look at Leah and the two. Not that she's asking for that, but like the two of them could just like look at each other and like, we got no one else in our lives. Let's just
imprint. Right.
No,
It
that's
doesn't make
not
any
how
sense.
It works.
So then follow-up question about crazy Leah, because that makes her a little nutso. Why is she still hung up on Sam if she didn't imprint with him and she knows about imprinting? Doesn't she know they're not right for each other?
Because she's in love with him.
But she's a wolf.
Imprinting is the magic of imprinting. Is like you see your soulmate and you become locked in there. You can be in love with someone and then find your soulmate and go.
But logically speaking,
Yeah.
she was together with him and she knew they didn't imprint.
So
They both know we're like, hey, we're clearly not right for each other. As much as we like each other, we have someone better out there. We should probably go look. I don't understand
but she's
the
still
logic behind
Oh,
it.
because that happens. Well, I mean, if you're just talking about it from the metaphysical imprinting idea, yeah, sure. But the truth of the matter is, you fall in love with people and you stay there, whether or not they're good for you or anything like that.
Well, that's true, Bella. That's true.
Okay, you want to talk about the housekeepers? The housekeepers show up on the island. It's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
The woman looks at him like he's a monster.
A demon, Dan.
A demon. And Edward thinks it's funny that she's afraid of him.
Like he literally laughs about it.
Stupid human that thinks I'm a monster.
But she's right. That's it's so bizarre because she knows.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
This is my scene in the movie.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Bella also laughs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want these two to die.
Because guess what? They're evil.
They're evil.
These are two evil beings and they're about to go on a murder spree. That's how this next movie ends. They go kill everyone.
Well, you know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know exactly what's going to happen. Is when she becomes a vampire, she's going to be like this magical Bella Blood vampire, which means she's. I mean, I think she might go on a bit where she kills people. She might kill people.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so too. But I think she's going to be like this magical hybrid vampire that's perfect. That's going to lead to vampires being like.
Peaceful shit.
Yeah, peaceful garbage.
If that's how this movie ends, I'm going to rage. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I will rage.
But I mean, this one shows exactly who she is. She just wants to live forever and be more powerful than everyone and have power over everyone. And because she doesn't care about this normal, common person that's done nothing to her, nothing to them.
Yep. Just comes in and is afraid. And you're like, what a loser. Let's tear her apart.
And then she chows down on chicken and peanut butter. We have this whole cooking of chicken scene.
Yeah, what's going on with this, Dan?
Oh, she's pregnant, so she needs food.
Oh, you know what?
You missed all that? You missed all that?
I'm an idiot. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I saw right through that because it was so stupid. And then she goes...
I saw right through it.
So she goes barfing, and then she's like, oh my God, it's 14 days since the wedding. I'm late. And she's already showing.
Dan... Now, if you had sex 4 days ago, and you were a little bit late for your period, are you jumping straight to I must be pregnant? Because everything in your biology tells you that that's not how the way it works.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either. It's all weird. Let me ask you another question, Eddie.
You can't ask me a lot of questions. You're not going to use any
protection.
You can't ask me a lot of questions about. See, that's the thing is we don't lay out the science of, You need to say, oh, a vampire can't get a human pregnant. He's got to say that right there. You just got
to think you know that already.
Yeah,
yes.
He's like, no, a vampire can't get it. It's never happened before.
Yeah,
that
is correct.
Yeah, this is the Dan Goodson. Give us the one line.
Yep.
And he says that. We're like, oh shit, something's happening. Something means something.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is this movie tries so hard not to build any stakes into anything in a strange way. And you're just like, give us those lines are so important for building stakes.
Listen, even though I would make fun of the line, because I would tease about it, I'd be like, you guys, come on, that's ridiculous. But if you say it, immediately I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Something's going to happen, son.
This means something. When you don't say that, and it's like you have stupid Stephanie Meyer there on set. You can just ask her. You can say, Stephanie, hey, can we put a line in? And she's like, and she'll probably say, oh, that makes sense.
No,
I'm not as
probably
stupid.
say no.
It's true.
She's like, I'm sorry, it's not in the book.
The books are perfect. Let me show you my sales chart. Here's my sales chart. This is why I'm important.
I am the Shakespeare of this century, so no.
And then we get the scene, Tony's favorite scene in the movie, super speed packing.
You know what it does remind me of, though, Dan? Is Smallville. There's like scenes where because he's a kid and he has like a party and then he's got to quickly clean the house with a super speed. And as a kid, you're like, oh man, that would be awesome. And so it made me chuckle.
And you know what you have in a TV show? You have real estate to waste time showing someone speed packing.
We're shooting 24 episodes a year, guys. We have some filler. Okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if we did a speed packing scene? Everyone in the writer's room, it'd be hilarious. Let's do it. This one. I'm Stephanie Myers. I have no ideas. I spent 2 pages writing about him speed packing. Oh my God, you've got to be joking me. Boom.
So good.
So they're out there, they're freaking out. They see the housekeeper, and they're like, okay, this woman that we derided, laughed at because she's an idiot. Please tell us how to
know everything.
Yes, tell us with your primitive, magical ways about the thing. The woman walks over and says death in Spanish.
Yep.
And
that's it.
And then actually this whole section is like my favorite section of the movie because it's so terrible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Edward delivers the greatest line of the movie. Carlisle will get that thing out of you.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. If you had a kid coming on one aspect of somebody and the other partner said, rip that thing out of it and stomp and kill it. Like, you would be affected by that.
I would, and you would. Bella would not.
Anyone with human feelings would be like, hold on a second.
Yeah, no, it's super messed up. Also, we don't make a comment on abortion, but we do talk about it a whole bunch. But don't. She never takes like a stance on it, as far as I can tell. Mm-mm. But she just is like, who gets to choose? Hey, this is her body, her choice. Nope, I'm gonna kill it. It's a really weird thing that's going on here.
Take the private jet. She calls Rosalie because Rosalie in the last movie said that she wished she had kids. So Rosalie's going to be her protector, and by being her protector, at one time she delivers a line to Jake about the baby or something.
Yeah, who knows? Who cares?
Super weird.
It's so thin, it doesn't really matter.
Jake and Charlie start talking, and they find out that they're saying about the sick, and then he just goes to the Collins, and then they just...
Hold on 1 second, Dan. I just have a question, because I was getting really confused.
Yeah.
I think this is the scene that Jacob's mom... Oh, I guess it would make sense if Jacob's there, too. Because Jacob's mom was at Charlie's house when Charlie gets the news about her being sick. But Jacob's also there, so I guess that makes sense. I was confused. I started thinking maybe Charlie and Jake's mom were getting it on.
No. Jake's mom is in the scene with Jake's dad in the wheelchair, and they say a couple things. That's a later scene.
No, I know. That's later. But she's in Charlie's house when he finds out that she's sick.
Oh, really? So I don't remember that.
And then at the wedding, there's a weird moment, which we didn't talk about, where Charlie offers to get Jake's mom a drink, and Jake's dad turns the wheelchair and like nudges him, and he's like, I'll get the drinks.
Oh,
and I was like, are they banging? Is there something
that
going
scene,
on?
And it confused me. I was just like, I do really not know what is happening.
It doesn't make any sense, but then she shows up at Charlie's house at one scene. Doesn't do anything. She's like in the background. And then later she's back with Jake's dad. I was like, I think something's going on. I think we've got a little affair.
The more interesting movie that we don't see.
You got to look through the lines here.
Dark Charlie.
Anyhow, who knows?
So he goes in. So Jake gets in the house, and he sees the bump, and there's the baby, and it's growing fast and weird, because this whole pregnancy is going to happen in about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So maybe it's like
something. Yeah.
So it's 7 times as fast or something.
Yeah.
And Rose is the protector of the baby.
Yep.
And Jake and Ed, man to man. Oh, so Ed takes Jake outside, and what do they talk about, Tony?
Something like, "You can kill me." Doesn't he say that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this exactly, but I feel like...
Oh, this is like another one of the classic things. You need to talk her into getting an abortion.
That's what it is. Thank you.
And then, because if she doesn't get an abortion and she dies, then you can kill me.
And so
Which actually is really confusing, right?
It's super confusing and very stupid. But the thing I remember most is Eddie says, if she dies, you get what you've always wanted, to kill me.
No.
And my thing is, no, bro, what he's always wanted is Bella. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to just kill you. He wants to kill you for a reason so that he can get Bella, but she's going to die. He's not going to get what he wants, just for the record.
I mean, yeah, the pitch should have been, you need to talk her into having an abortion because this baby's going to kill her.
It's going to kill it, yeah.
And
that's all you really have to say, and Jake will be like, right, bro, I'm on it.
I'm on it. We got to do something about this stupid vampire baby because it's also a vampire baby. See, that's the thing. You understand if Jake hates the baby because he's like, this is a vampire baby. It's got to go.
100%.
And then that would actually set up the whole frisson when he falls in love with the baby. That would actually be really weird, even weirder than weird.
It's gonna be.
So then he goes in there and he's all like, "You never listen to me." And he when he said that, so he delivered that line so perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
you want to know why? Taylor Lautner's the best.
And then she's like, "It's a miracle," and then she keeps talking about it like it's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy.
It's very confusing. What is the point of that?
I don't know. It's really strange because we know it's going to be a girl.
Well, we know, but I think we only know that because he's going to fall in love with them. But is it a misdirect? Is that what they're going for?
I guess, because it's this weird, hard pitch that it's a boy. They
bunch. And it's not just one time. No. Like, she continually says he, him, it's a boy.
Which is really weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Bizarre.
She's like, I'm strong enough. Everything's going to be okay. And then he's like, I can't stay here and watch you die. And then he wolf runs off. And there's this crazy montage.
Yeah.
I wrote, pack howl, wolves destroy it, Jake dominates, Jake doesn't dominate, he goes lone wolf. I don't even remember what was this? I don't even remember what that scene was about.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it.
He just goes and sees Sam again, and we sort of have a replay of that other scene where they're all there together.
Because this is where they switch sides, right?
Oh, okay. Now he wants to kill. Now he wants to kill.
Yeah, and Jacob's like, I need to protect Bella.
Sam's like, okay, now I'm going to kill, and I've got to protect Bella, even though nothing has changed in Sam's eyes, right?
Well, he says that the vampire baby will kill people because vampire babies can't control it. But my response to that is we have literally never met a vampire baby. That's the whole point of this, is that nobody knew it could happen. So why would he assume that it's going to be a killer when it's an infant, right?
I mean, I guess if you were to bite a baby and it became a vampire, that would probably be a very bad thing.
I'd be really...
Has anybody made
really
that
wants
movie?
To see that movie.
Has anybody made that movie?
I don't think they have, but I think
How
we need
has
to
no
do
one
it.
made that movie?
It's very funny.
How has no one made that movie?
Vampire Baby. Oh boy, coming this October.
Okay, now we go back to the Cullens. Seth is joined with Jake, sort of, and he's like, it's 2 against the world, and then Leah shows up. And his first line to her is, go away, Leah.
Yeah, because they're just so mean to her for no reason. I am so confused.
Was there ever an explanation as to why Leah wants to join Jake's mini-pack?
No, she wasn't given the opportunity to explain herself.
That's true.
So.
They don't want to give her any lines.
Yeah.
Sam is going to wait it out, even though the treaty is void. Oh, because
in his eyes.
So Sam says we're not going to go attack because Jake has ruined it, and we don't have the element of surprise anymore. So they were going to raid the Cullen's house, but Jake spoiled it.
What a tattletale.
So he hangs with Leah. I don't want you here. I'll do whatever you want. And then you got my flank. And you're like, okay. So he's like, no, I don't want you. But yeah, no, you're okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
Everyone stares at Bella. And what does Edward do during that? He does a baby vampire Google search because that's the way that they need to find out information about their thing. They don't go to an old book. They don't call like the wizened vampire. They don't ring. No, he does a Google search.
No.
What happened?
No,
he doesn't do a Google search.
He does a Yahoo search, baby. Yeah. I wrote that shit down because I was so excited. Yahoo search. No, fuck you, Google. Get out of here.
And Mrs. Collins brings.
But it seems to come up with stuff, though, doesn't it? Like he's looking
it shows
at pictures.
A bunch of random pictures.
So it doesn't make any sense. And then we don't talk about it at all.
No, he doesn't glean any information. He's just like, I'm doing something to save my baby.
I gotta put my body to work. Here we go.
It is the Chat GPT generation where it's like I've done a thing. I've looked at the Google and it's told me what to do. Well, I actually didn't tell you what to do, but I looked at it and I have information.
And now. I have knowledge now. Dum-dums.
Isn't that exactly it? Every stupid person in the world thinks they can turn on the old magic computer box and figure out what the doctors and all them smarts people don't understand is that it's all right here in the Google box. Oh, look, this video with 100 views explains to me how I know everything.
How did they get 100 views, Stan? Oh my God, we suck, man.
And that's why we know what we're talking about.
We're the worst.
And Miss Cullen, brings them sandwiches because that's her role in this whole thing is to bring sandwiches.
Well, I mean, she is the woman, the matriarch of the family. You got to cook.
So the baby's crushing her from the inside out. It's too strong. And so she's in like Carlisle's huge doctor setup in the house.
Yeah.
Why?
Because this is a cool set that they built.
Why would a vampire who has his private residence have basically an human operating system?
Well, maybe he likes to do inverse house calls. Right?
He invites humans over there where they have the graduation cap thing and has to explain that to all the humans. Even though no one in Bella's class had ever been to the Cullen's house until they had the party there, which was they had no reason to have a party there.
Yeah, well, listen, he's got a lot. He owns an island, Dan. He can do whatever he wants. I would have all sorts of stuff in my house. Trampoline room would be number one among them, by the way. You get walls that are trampoline, floor trampoline. You just bounce all over the place.
Side trampolines.
Oh, God, that'd be, it'd be incredible.
You would have so many broken legs.
Well, I would also have a doctor room, so it's fine.
Boom. Here we are. Now we're going to the horror aspect of the movie. We see Bella, and she has become Boney Bella.
Boney Bella! Yeah, she sure has. She takes off like the top, and you see the back. She looks like a dinosaur because her spine is sticking out. So she's a stegosaurus.
We have to do the bit where Jacob has to keep her warm inside of a house that they could put at any temperature they wanted. They could put as many blankets on her as they wanted. They could give her
I got nothing.
A warm bottle. They could give her heating pads. I have heating pads. I bought a special heating pad just for my feet.
No, she needs
Tony,
abs.
Hold on, Tony. Did you hear what I just said?
No, what? You got something for your feet? What'd you say?
I bought a special heating pad just for my feet.
Toesies?
Just for my
feet. For your toesies?
Yes.
Why don't you just put on more socks, Dan?
Because my feet get so fucking cold. I have to actually use heat.
So then you get it. What you need is a little Jacob to curl around your feet.
No. You have a heating pad that does better than a human being.
So you're telling me that you would rather have some sort of electronically heated piece of cloth on your body instead of Jacob? I'll take Jacob any day of the
We
week.
know what you would take.
Get those abs all over my face.
And then she says, I feel complete when you're here.
Listen.
I'm going to say one word. Thruple.
Now, that's a couple with 3 people? Is that,
Yeah.
I understand lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, weekend hall pass. I'm telling you. And you know what? Just for you, sometimes they'll do it in wolf form, Dan.
So
Don't you worry.
what happens is she's dying. You can't take food. And so what is their solution to that, Tony?
Well, it takes them about 4 weeks too long to come up with the idea that, oh shit, is that baby a vampire? Maybe the vampire wants blood because that's all vampires eat. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out here, guys. What a bunch of idiots, Dan.
Well,
These are the dumbest vampires in the world.
They start feeding her blood.
Yeah. That's how you feed babies, right?
That's how you feed babies, is by having the mother ingest the thing?
Well, yeah, they always say, oh, she's eating for 2, right? Isn't that a saying?
I don't think that if you ate a bunch of blood, it would make
That's
it
what
so
would
that
be
a
sent to
baby...
the baby?
Yes, I don't think that's how it works.
So you're telling me that the
Would you
baby's
eat-
not in the stomach with its mouth open like this, and then whatever you eat just goes into the mouth of the baby? Are you sure?
No, I think that's exactly what happens. And
You got the baby bird in it just inside? Come
one,
on.
At one point, there's like the styrofoam cup with the blood in it, and everybody keeps on like looking at it because I guess they're all hungry. I
Well,
guess
yeah,
that was
they haven't hunted in a while because they've been taking care of Bella. Now, Dan, why do they have a styrofoam cup with a plastic straw? They don't eat. Why do they have that on hand? Just out of curiosity. I don't understand. He just produces that
for all,
like
the,
it's a normal thing for a vampire to have.
for all the random patients that show up at the house. They got to keep them hydrated.
Oh, God. This is great stuff.
And she's
man.
like,
this movie's good.
She's drinking the blood. She's like, has blood in her mouth.
Yeah.
For that matter,
It's good.
okay, I can ask you a question, Tony.
Yeah.
When you eat, does the food normally drip down your face?
I mean, it depends on how hungry I am, Dan. Okay. If I'm going too fast and I'm overflowing
That's
sometimes.
true. If you're eating hot chicken, I can imagine there's shit all over.
Yeah,
your
you
face.
got grease all over, some skin hanging down off the beard. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
They lie to Charlie and say that they're going to a spa in Switzerland.
It's such a weird scene. Well, first she's like, I'm going to a health clinic. And she's like, well, it's more like a spa.
in Switzerland.
What?
In Switzerland.
Yeah, in Switzerland. He's like, I'm coming out. She's like, nah, don't do that. You're fine. And he's like, okay.
Why do you tell such a weird, specific lie?
Because she's terrible at lying.
No, she's a terrible person. That's why you tell.
Well, she is a terrible person. You're absolutely right about that.
Okay.
Now, Dan,
Yeah.
again, this guy feels pretty protective of his daughter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just in everything we've seen.
Yeah.
When she officially disappears as a vampire, you think he's just going to let it go? No!
Well, I think he talked about a gun and shooting people.
Yeah, in his toast, I'm a cop. I've got a gun. I know how to hunt things.
Wouldn't you take your vengeance out on someone named Carlisle?
Yeah, amen to that. Carlisle's a goner. Well, I mean, he'll be fine because he's a vampire, but they better tell. Here's how I want the movie to end, Dan. If she'll be a magical vampire that's all happy and teaching everyone to be good, right? Bullshit. But she better tell her parents what she is, and they better just be magically okay with it.
I'm intrigued as to how they're going to end all this. I have no there's going to be weird things that happen.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of leaps in this last movie.
Actually, no. I think what's really going to happen is the entire movie's going to be spent with them in Italy with the Voltari, and then they're going to come home from that, and everyone's going to be like, "We're happy."
Yay, you're alive, but not really, and it's okay. We still love you. Because they're super supportive parents.
This next scene is the scene where Mr. Creepo reads the baby's mind.
El Creepo. Now, Dan, this is some interesting comments, probably accidentally, on consciousness.
Sure.
Don't you think?
Sure.
I mean, this baby knows that he loves somebody.
Likes her.
How does
Likes her.
this baby know what that emotion is? First of all, that's incredible stuff. likes the voices. It doesn't make any sense.
And by reading his mind, even though we know it's going to be a girl, doesn't make any sense.
Are you really reading him out? Is he making it up? Dan, maybe he's lying to her to make her feel better.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
He's good and pure, and he's happy.
Yeah, and he's happy. Oh boy. What, you think babies are just happy in their mom's stomach? I feel like they probably just want to get the fuck out of there.
So they're out of blood. We see them throw away the last thing of blood, which, as you see them throw it away, they haven't sucked it dry. There's tons of blood left in it.
Lots of leftovers, guys. You got to clean your plate. Sheesh.
Wasteful
people.
If you only have so much food and you got no more food, you're going to lick those plates.
That's real first-class problems right there, Dan. Oh, there's still some in the bag. We'll just get the next one. You idiots.
So they're going to have to...
That's why I look like this, Dan. I eat what I take. And sometimes I take too much, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to eat it.
Jesus Christ. That milk's 2 weeks old. I'm going to eat it.
What am I going to do? Throw it away? Put it in my body.
Okay, so they're going to have to... They got to go find some blood or hunt.
Yep.
Tony, could they just rent a helicopter?
Don't they own a helicopter? Wouldn't you imagine that this guy probably has a helicopter? Let's be honest.
He's got an island.
There's got to be a helipad somewhere in the woods. Come on.
So instead, what they do is they send Jake out there to trick Sam's buddies and say, if you guys take back Leah and Seth, I'll destroy the baby. And then Carlisle, Mom, and Conan escape. And they're like, you played us.
Yep.
Then they named the baby Essamine or something.
One of two things. Yeah. They have that scene where they're like, we're going to name the baby, if it's a boy, we're going to call it EJ for Edward Jacob. Again, so
EJ?
weird.
They're going to name a baby EJ.
That's what she said, EJ. First of all, that's not a name, EJ. That's an abbreviation. But you can't name the baby after Jacob, who A, wants to kill the baby, and B, isn't the father.
No. That was a joke. I mean, that was a fake out. He doesn't want to kill the baby.
But he did. Remember at the beginning?
He was fighting.
He started wanting to kill it, and then he switched sides.
And then he also wanted it aborted. You're right. Okay.
Right. Speaking of that, also Edward wanted to kill it. So listen, you're naming the baby after two people that wanted to murder it. So that's weird.
That's gonna be hard to explain to the baby.
And then and if it's a girl, I've combined our mother's two different names, and we're gonna call it Renesmee. And everyone seems to think that's a good fucking idea.
And then Bella cracks in half, and her placenta detaches.
Yeah, oh my God. Her spine broke, right? Am I crazy? Her spine broke in half, yeah? Okay.
She broke in half.
Okay. Yeah. She's dead, by the way. So, okay.
Get him out now. Rose goes crazy, because that's what you want the person protecting, is to go crazy. So she goes crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they're going to change her after the baby is out. I don't know why the baby has to get out before you change her.
They said, I don't feel like they explained it very well, but something like she has to be human while it's inside her to give it the nutrients it needs or something.
Yeah, but she's dead.
Yeah, I understand that.
Baby's going to be attached to a dead thing in about 1 second.
I understand what you're saying.
Then we spend some time with a touching moment, like between Edward and her. It's just like, it's like that classic, in the war movie when the person gets shot and you spend 45 minutes going like
talking to that person, holding them. Yeah,
I hate that.
No, you're also dead. You're gonna get shot right in the head while you're sitting there, guy.
God, we watched some movie where they did that and they did it right, and you were like, "Oh, someone can do this right," instead of like making it absurd. I don't know what it was though. So.
It's probably Tropic Thunder. Nailed it.
Probably. Bella dies. I'm like, oh, she just died. Jake's doing CPR, and then Edward's like, I've got some of my venom right here in a syringe, and I'm going to plunge it into her heart.
Yeah.
She's still dead. What? Jake runs outside to cry, but Ed won't quit on love, and he starts biting her everywhere. Her.
It's so stupid.
I wrote the corpse lives. Then we see an interior shot, and then we're like, oh, the corpse is living, but she's still dead.
Yeah, which is kind of confusing.
Then Jake goes inside, and they're holding the baby, and he and the baby lock eyes.
First of all, I just have to say, Dan, the baby, super fake. It's a CGI baby. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Its face was terrifying because it's not a human face, and it's slightly too old for its baby shape.
Oh yeah, it's not.
It's like
much older.
It's like noticing things.
It's not, but it is older. It's not supposed to be a baby.
I guess you're right because it's a baby.
It's a vampire
I
baby.
guess that's true.
So it's
but
more
it's creepy.
It's more mature.
And then they lock eyes, and Jake gets a raging hard on and drops to the floor, and it's like, I want to fuck that baby. I want it so bad. It's just as weird as I was hoping it was going to be, and the payoff was great for me.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It was. I'm sure if you read this in a book, you were just like, huh? But like in a movie,
Huh?
they just, the baby like looks over and they just lock, and you're just like, they just imprinted on each other, and you understood what imprinting is.
You totally understand
it's wrong and weird,
but my favorite part is it gets weirder because when he does the imprinting, he sees like flashes of her life.
Yeah,
she's always a child. She doesn't get old enough to not be creepy.
He doesn't see her as a 25-year-old. He sees her as a hot 14-year-old.
It's like an 8-year-old, 15-year-old, maybe 18 if we're pushing it. Oh man, so good. Hilarious. I was like, well, just show her as a woman. Why show her as a 25? Make it safe for me for at least 1 second. No, sir.
But it was the best filmmaking thing in this whole stupid movie, and the thing I would have thought would be the most horrifying. But no,
it was great. It was really wonderful. It was worth the 4 movies we've seen. I loved it.
It was pretty interesting. And I wrote down that is the power of film, that you could show something like that and get across this concept better than having poor Leah. Shut up, Leah. Explain
Shut up, Leah. I mean, that's the power of love. Huey Lewis.
And so basically, what this all sets up is he's imprinted on this thing, so you can't kill it. So the wolves won't kill it.
Which is the first, I feel like that's the first time we've said that line.
What?
That when you imprint, you cannot kill it.
Yeah.
I wish they would have set that up earlier, to be honest, because now it just feels like you're just adding on to it so that they can't kill the baby, but it's fine.
Well, well, that's how it works. What it is she has this idea about how to make it work, and she puts all the pieces in place, but she doesn't give us the clues to make us when it actually happens. What?
Yeah, the breadcrumbs, as you will.
Yeah, because you need to. Well, it's the clues. You put the clues to the thing there first.
Clues.
And they didn't really put the clues.
The breadcrumbs lead you to the reveal. They both work, Dan.
Shut up, Tony.
It's a great analogy.
And then they say because that is the most absolute law.
Right. That's what so it's the most important absolute law, and I've never heard it before in 4 movies. No, don't think so.
You gotta set that up a little earlier. They wash Bella, they put her in a weird blue dress. I'm assuming Alice does her makeup because she now has this
she's got like
sexy
vampire
gold.
So weird. Doesn't make any sense.
Sexy makeup.
Sure, it looks
ready
great,
for it.
but why are you painting the dead, creep?
And then her eyes go like this. And then we have music.
Bright red. Now, bright red means they're feeding on humans, right?
I have no idea.
Bright red. So I think
is that
bright
why,
red eyes.
Is that why their eyes are orange because they're eating bears?
I think that's when they're eating off animals, and red is when you're feeding off humans. I think.
Yeah, because she's been drinking all that blood.
Right, but also I feel like that means like that's what she's going to crave then, right? Because then you got to get off. She's addicted.
I have to imagine she's going to be blood frenzied for a while. And that's going to be something
for a while.
Happens.
I mean, we only got 2.5 hours max left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe she kills Jake's dad, and then Jake's mom is free to go and marry Charlie. That'd be
hit up Chuck. She's like, well, Chuck, now that he's gone, we can be out in the open. And they're just doing it in the woods. Oh, it's great. So
I'm excited. I want to see where this goes because
I can't wait.
It's going to be incredibly stupid.
I don't know how. There's so many loose ends that they're just wide open. I can't wait to see them try to tie it all together.
Who's Leah going to end up with? I want to know.
Why is she in the universe? I don't know.
With the stupid blonde Alaskan women, what are they going to do? Why did we meet these stupid people?
Right. Shannon's got to come back. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Oh boy, this is great stuff, man.
This was an interesting one. Okay.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Now we talk about something we liked. My buddy Todd talked about there's this like French video store, one of the last video stores in Paris, and then they have directors and actors come in there and walk around and talk about movies.
That's cool.
And he recommended the Wes Anderson one, which is great. And then there was Ari Aster, which was Ari Aster. David Cronenberg, and I just was watching the Rian Johnson one this morning, and I love Rian Johnson. I don't love all of his movies, but I love him, and I love where he's at right now.
Did he do Looper?
He did Looper.
Did you like Looper?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. I feel like I liked that movie. I can't remember.
He did Brick, which was okay. He did the Star Wars movie, which I hated beyond comprehension.
No, he did the second one, right? In the trilogy, the last trilogy.
And
I like it.
Then he did Knives Out, which I didn't care for, and then he did Glass Onion, which I think is a perfect movie.
Both of them. I like them both. They're very different. We've talked about this. They are very different. I like them both.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Knives Out. I just it's like
it wasn't for you.
It's fine. I watched it. Yeah. I watched it a second time. It was a movie I watched a second time, and I'm like, it's a fine movie. I'm not going to say you're an idiot for liking it, but it just wasn't for me. But Glass Onion, every second of that movie was for me, which is. I'm so intrigued as to see whatever next movie he makes. I'm so intrigued to see if it follows up on how Glass Onion is, because I thought his filmmaking was brilliant in it.
Sure. Just like this movie. Can't wait to see what Condom does next.
Hopefully stops vampire babies from being made. Use a condom. Don't make a vampire baby.
Condom. Put on a hat. Wear a hat.
Do you have anything for us? Like maybe a topical analgesic that you enjoyed this week, Tony?
What the hell's an analgesic? Because I don't know if I have it or not.
That's like when you get like a cut or something and you put like a first aid cream on it. That's a topical
like my
analgesic.
Topical cream?
Yeah, topical analgesic.
I'm going to try to keep this short, but I have two separate things I want to talk about.
Oh, nice.
One, Independence Day, I watched on July 4th. I watch it every July 4th.
Oh, sure.
And for whatever reason, I was like, fuck, I need to watch more Roland Emmerich. And so I went down a little Emmy path. And I rewatched.
We seen them all?
Not all of them, but I didn't watch any of the ones we haven't seen. I rewatched White House Down, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I also rewatched Moonfall, Dan, and it is still just as dumb and fun as it was. I'm starting to love it. I'm starting to love that movie. I had a really good time on the rewatch, so I'm definitely going to watch it a third time at some point.
Well, so you got to give it up for Roland, because he does a lot of dumb things in his movies, and if you grow to like those dumb things, they're always there to be dumb.
He's there for you.
Like this Twilight movie, there's not enough dumb in it to you're just like, oh my god.
Every once in a while, there's a great moment where you're like, oh, that was just dumb enough, but for the most part, no. But the big thing I want to talk about real quickly here, Dan, is that Taylor Swift, National Treasure, released Swiftie. She did a re-release of one of her old albums, and one of the songs on it is "I Can See You." I don't know the song because I'm not like a big fan. But she did a music video, which my lovely wife was like, hey, you should watch this music video. And she was right, because Taylor Lautner is in it, and he's doing all sorts of like ninja crap. And he's so good in it, Dan. He's kicking all sorts of ass. And we looked it up, and he doesn't use a stunt double. He does all of his own stunts. It's incredible. Get this guy a fucking franchise that is worth it. He's ready. Still great.
He's ready.
He's ready. He's still ripped. He's still limber as shit. They did a live performance. They unveiled it at one of her live performances. This guy did a backflip on stage just for fun. Just get this guy a movie that is actually good. He is good, you guys. Let's get him a vehicle that he can drive.
He's good. Anyhow,
I just want to see him.
Give him something to work with.
I love this guy. I'm just rooting for him, and we're gonna have to write him a movie. That's what it is.
There it is. Vampire Baby.
It'll never get made.
Vampire Baby. Vampire Baby Killer.
Vampire Baby.
Baby Killer, starring Taylor Lautner.
We could see, she would be almost an adult now, right? So we could make her 18 and him 40, whatever that age difference is. And that'll be great. We're going to make the sequel where they're older and in love. And it'll just, it'll be okay now because it's been long enough.
Oh, We do not need to do that.
Well, we need to do something, Dan.
So, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe. And next week, we're going to be back with the conclusion of the Twilight Saga.
Baby.
At least until they make more Twilight movies, because they're making more. What do they make? More Harry Potter? No, making more Hunger Games.
There's more Harry. There's like a prequel Hunger Games thing, but there's a Harry Potter show coming out, and there are still talks of a Twilight show as well. So
that would be terrible. Well, it might not be terrible because it would force people to actually make up a mythos for this thing, because there's no mythos for this thing. It's like
the world building. We're going to skip that part, and we'll just jump into whatever we feel like.
Daylight wedding. No one sparkles. Like, what the fuck? You're like, okay, I'm going to make vampires, and I'm going to give them no restrictions except one, and then I'm going to ignore
and then I'm just going to
restriction.
forget that one because that was a silly mistake I made.
Last two movies, the restriction never came in,
zero sparkle
ever into play, and we did all sorts of things in full daylight. Running across courtyards in Italy where you're not allowed to be a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess he was in the building, wasn't he? Okay, so
he was in the building, but the sister was outside.
Alice was, yeah.
Right? Like she drove. I don't know. I don't know what
so
to tell
terrible,
you.
so terrible. So we'll be back next week with the conclusion.
The exciting conclusion. Goodbye, everybody.